What is a Dark Jedi? In the Ahsoka series, there are two new characters introduced, BAYLAN SKOLL and SHIN HATI, who fans are speculating might be Dark Jedi. Although there is limited information about them, or this type of Force wielder in general, I have some interesting theories that will make you think, and could help you connect the dots for the Ahsoka show. Before we discuss who and what these Dark Jedi are, I think it's important to point out what they are not. As clearly shown in the trailer, these Dark Jedi are certainly not Jedi. This is evident not only from Baylan's admission, but also from their violent acts aboard the New Republic ship. True Jedi are known and characterized by their nobleness. They seek to be guardians of peace and justice throughout the galaxy, and to study the Force, not for their own benefit, but the benefit of others, which is how we know that the Jedi, during the time of Anakin Skywalker, were corrupted by the dark side, causing them to gradually stray from their own principles, ultimately leading to their downfall. And that's what we see in the trailer. These Dark Jedi have abandoned any sense of nobleness and have caved to their own desire for power. We can't confidently label them as Jedi, but if not Jedi, then what are they? We also know Dark Jedi are not Sith. In a recent interview, Dave Filoni hinted that these characters may not be who we assume them to be. We shouldn't jump to conclusions based solely on the color of their lightsabers. It's true Baylan and Shin's lightsaber blades are dark orange, not the typical blood red color of a Sith's lightsaber, but we can't automatically assume these characters are purely evil. This distinguishes them from the Sith. They aren't consumed by their own emotions or hatred. Dave purposefully chose the color orange to differentiate these Dark Jedi from the Sith and a true Jedi. The late Ray Stevenson elaborates on this further in several interviews, where he shares the audience may be surprised at Baylan and Shin's motivations. If they were true Sith, true bad guys in Star Wars put differently, we wouldn't be surprised. We know exactly what motivates the Sith. He goes on to say that nothing will stand in Baylan's way, and if something or someone does stand in the way, he will ask them to step aside before becoming combative. So if they're not Jedi or Sith, who could they be? The first conclusion I can draw from these Dark Jedi are that they were Jedi at one point in time, but have adopted a larger perspective of the Force, purely being influenced by the dark side. We've seen a similar type of character before. I would say Barriss Offee is the closest we've come to Dark Jedi such as Baylan and Shin. Although Barriss is not completely Sith, she strayed from the Order when she committed the Jedi Temple bombing. Considering Dave Filoni's portrayal of Barriss in the Clone Wars, I believe Dave might be insinuating that Baylan and Shin will have comparable motivations to those of Barriss Offee. In addition, maybe we have seen this kind of Force user before, but with opposite motivations. Ahsoka herself is not a Jedi by her admission, as she left the Order due to her belief that they had become too political and lost sight of their true purpose. She too adopts a larger perspective on the Force, but from her point of view, it should only be used to serve those around her. Dark Jedi, on the other hand, aren't fully consumed by their emotions and hatred, but have been corrupted by the dark side and use the Force only to serve themselves. The label, Dark Jedi, then reveals the evil nature of the Force user, but goes to show their true motivations are not as black and white as you might say a true Jedi and true Siths are. So who are these mysterious characters? In Norse mythology, the names SKOLL and HATI refer to wolves that chase the sun and the moon. While it would be fun to speculate and derive complex theories regarding this mythos, I think the simplest answer is the best here. Star Wars has a history of drawing inspiration from mythological tales, and Dave Filoni has a fondness for wolves. And that's about it. We do know that Baylan and Shin are survivors of Order 66. Shin's Padawan Braid confirms she and her master were once a part of the Order, and I think this has basically been confirmed in interviews by the actor and actress who play these characters. But I think it's interesting to consider if they remained Jedi until Order 66, or had they already become mercenaries before Order 66 and somehow survived the onslaught of Force users not serving the Empire. At what point did they begin to question the motives and beliefs of the Jedi? And did they become Inquisitors? Leave your comments below as to what you believe their journey was from Order 66 to the events depicted in the Ahsoka show. It's clear from the trailer that Baylan and Shin are trying to insinuate some type of conflict, most likely with the New Republic. And if they are indeed working with Grand Admiral Thrawn, this would shed light on their motivations. Thrawn reveals his motives in the Thrawn novel when he says, "My job, the sole reason for my existence, is to defend the Chiss ascendancy and protect my people. I will do whatever is necessary to achieve that goal, and I will allow nothing and no one to stand in my way." Thrawn believes his people, and I would even say the galaxy itself, are in danger, and he will do whatever is necessary to defend them. And as we know, the New Republic is beginning to demilitarize, so Thrawn will be motivated to eliminate their power and truly become heir to the Empire, re-establishing a military stronghold in the galaxy. I'm still unsure if Baylan and Shin know who Thrawn is. We hear in the trailer Shin asks, "What happens when we find Thrawn?" as if she doesn't know who he is. She asks almost as if she knows Baylan has met him before. I'm leaning towards they have been in contact with Thrawn at some level, but let me know in the comments what you think. So, now for my theory on who these Dark Jedi are, what their history is, and what their motivations will be. I do believe Baylan and Shin are Order 66 survivors, once a part of the Jedi Order. They remain Jedi up until Order 66, but they, specifically Baylan, have begun to question the Jedi's philosophy, just as we saw Qui-Gon Jinn and even Anakin do in the movies. I'm even speculating Anakin could be influential in Baylan's perception of the Jedi Order at the time we see him in the Ahsoka show. What if Anakin and Baylan grew up in the Jedi Order together? They could have trained with each other. The Clone Wars series has already expounded upon Anakin's character so much, all thanks to Dave Filoni's vision. Dave could expound upon his character further by showing us that Anakin's thoughts and actions about the Jedi contributed to his own downfall and turn to the dark side, but planted seeds in the minds of other Jedi who eventually went down the same dark path, such as Baylan. I also think something will happen to Shin. Just as Anakin formed a strong connection with Ahsoka, Baylan will have formed a strong connection with Shin. Although Shin may not die, something is going to affect her, and Baylan is going to feel guilty. Rumors are Baylan will be motivated to right some type of wrong, and to right this wrong, he may have to act with an evil intent. I suspect after narrowly escaping death during Order 66, Baylan and Shin somehow manage to flee into the New Beyond. There, they discover and begin using the dark side of the Force, which corrupted their kyber crystals and turned them orange. Years later, when Thrawn and Ezra Bridger arrive in the New Beyond, Thrawn befriends the fallen Jedi and intends to use them to help establish his new empire. Due to their shared ideology, Baylan and Shin are motivated to rid the galaxy of the weak New Republic. They may have been so influenced by the dark side, they believe that the only way to achieve true peace and justice is through the wielding of the dark side. They may even be working with Thrawn to revive the Emperor himself. This theory isn't quite as elaborate as some I have heard, such as Baylan being a clone of Anakin or a representation of what Anakin would be if he hadn't burned on Mustafar. I've even heard some say they may utilize dark magic and shapeshift into wolves. But I think it's rather simple. These are fallen Jedi who are tampering with the dark side, which is basically all a Dark Jedi is. They aren't consumed by their emotions and hatred like the Sith, but are willing to commit evil to achieve a purpose. And in their eyes, they may even see their actions as good. Dave Filoni, in the same interview where he cautions fans on drawing too quick of conclusions, also points to the fact that the visual effects in the original trilogy contributed to Darth Vader's lightsaber appearing orange on occasion. Although this was likely not George Lucas's intent, I think it gives us a good framework to think about who Dark Jedi, such as Baylan and Shin, really are. They may have turned to the dark side, but they can't escape their Jedi roots. There is still good in them, just like Darth Vader himself. If you liked this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for future videos, and leave a comment below letting me know what you think about all this.